Imagine this, a luxurious diving resort on the Red Sea, an exotic haven for wealthy tourists seeking adventure in Sudan. But by night, this paradise transforms into something unimaginable. Beneath the tranquil waters and vibrant coral reefs lies a secret mission, one of the most daring rescue operations in history. Thousands of lives are at stake, and the heroes? A small team of Mossad agents disguised as resort staff. Their mission? To save a forgotten Jewish tribe stranded in enemy territory. Stay with me as we uncover the breathtaking story of courage, deception, and miracles that made the impossible possible. The year was 1977, and a humanitarian crisis was unfolding in Ethiopia. Thousands of Ethiopian Jews, known as Beta Israel, faced persecution, famine, and civil war. For generations, this community had lived in isolation, preserving ancient Jewish traditions, while dreaming of one day returning to Zion, the ancestral homeland they called the Land of Jerusalem. When the crisis struck, this dream seemed more distant than ever. Entire families were forced to flee their homes, embarking on an unimaginable journey across treacherous mountains, scorching deserts, and unforgiving jungles. With little more than the clothes on their back, they trudged over 500 miles on foot to reach neighboring Sudan. But the journey was deadly. Over 1,700 men, women, and children perished along the way, falling victim to starvation, dehydration, disease, or violent bandits. Those who survived found themselves in Sudanese refugee camps, crowded alongside millions of other displaced people. These camps were not sanctuaries, they were living nightmares. Shacks made of cardboard and straw offered little protection from the elements. Food was scarce and disease was rampant. Hope was fading. For the Beta Israel community, however, their unwavering faith kept them going. They clung to the belief that somehow they would reach Israel, their promised land. But the odds were against them. Sudan was a hostile Muslim-majority country and a member of the Arab League, which had fought Israel in multiple wars. To openly rescue these refugees was unthinkable. The risk of discovery wasn't just political, it was lethal. In Israel, news of their plight reached the highest levels of government. When Menachem Begin was elected prime minister in 1977, he made an extraordinary decision. Begin himself, a man who had fled persecution in his youth, saw the rescue of Ethiopian Jews as a moral imperative. He issued a bold command to the Mossad, Israel's intelligence agency: "Bring me the Jews of Ethiopia." For the Mossad, this mission presented a unique and daunting challenge. Unlike previous operations, such as the dramatic rescue at Entebbe or the capture of Adolf Eichmann, this mission wasn't about targeting a single individual or group. It was about saving an entire community, thousands of people, without drawing attention, in the heart of enemy territory. The question loomed: how could they possibly do it? Sudan was an openly hostile nation. Air travel through Khartoum's heavily guarded airport was too dangerous. The overland route which crossed through Egypt was impossible. Yet, amidst this uncertainty, the team identified a single glimmer of hope: Sudan's coastline on the Red Sea. This narrow strip of desert land would become the staging ground for one of Mossad's most daring and creative operations. It was here, on a forgotten beach, surrounded by coral reefs, that the mission would take shape, a mission of ingenuity, bravery, and divine intervention. Deep in Sudan, an abandoned Italian-built diving resort lay forgotten on the shores of the Red Sea. It was a bizarre sight: red-roof bungalows, a dining hall, and pristine beaches in the middle of nowhere. This failed tourism project was the perfect cover. The Mossad transformed the resort into a functioning business. Glossy brochures advertised Arus on the Red Sea as a scuba diving paradise. Tourists came from across Europe, blissfully unaware that their smiling hosts were undercover Mossad agents. Among these agents was Yola Reitman, a flight attendant and passionate diver. When she received the call to join the mission, she didn't hesitate. This was a once-in-a-lifetime opportunity to save lives, she said. Her role? Manage the resort, host real guests, and ensure the cover story held up under scrutiny. On the surface, a ruse on the Red Sea appeared to be a picture-perfect getaway. The Mossad agents worked tirelessly to transform the abandoned Italian-built resort into an operational tourist haven. Glossy brochures were printed showcasing idyllic beaches, vibrant coral reefs, and promises of world-class diving adventures. These brochures were distributed across Europe, enticing tourists with the allure of the untouched Red Sea paradise. Soon, paying guests arrived, eager travelers, diplomats, and even desert hog hunters from Saudi Arabia. They were greeted with smiles by the resort staff, a group of athletic, professional-looking Europeans, quote-unquote. What the guests didn't know was that these, quote-unquote, staff members were undercover Mossad agents. By day, the resort bustled with activity. Tourists lounged on sunlit beaches, sipped wine, and dined on freshly prepared meals. They explored the vibrant coral reefs under the guidance of their, quote-unquote, diving instructors. Every detail was meticulously planned. Local Sudanese staff were hired as cooks, cleaners, and waiters, ensuring the cover story felt authentic. The resort even made enough profit to help fund the operation. Yola Riedman, the resort manager, played a crucial role in maintaining this illusion. Her charm and professionalism convinced everyone that the resort was legitimate. Guests marveled at the luxurious service and breathtaking views, completely unaware that beneath this facade lay a covert mission to save lives. As night fell, the atmosphere changed. The warm glow of the resort's lights gave way to the cool darkness of the desert. While guests enjoyed stargazing or sipped cocktails, Mossad agents quietly slipped out of their quarters. Vehicles were carefully hidden from view, and the team, now operating as rescuers, set out into the vast Sudanese wilderness. Their mission? To locate and transport groups of Ethiopian Jews who had been smuggled out of refugee camps. These refugees had risked everything to escape the horrors of the camps, often guided by Ethiopian operatives working alongside the Mossad. The agents drove for hours through treacherous terrain, navigating by moonlight and avoiding main roads to evade detection. At rendezvous points deep in the desert, they met the refugees, families who had waited in fear, their belongings packed in small bundles. These men, women, and children were exhausted and terrified, yet filled with hope. The convoy journeyed back toward the coast, the vehicles packed with refugees sitting shoulder to shoulder. Every mile was fraught with danger. Sudanese police and soldiers patrolled the roads, setting up random checkpoints. On one occasion, the convoy was fired upon, forcing the agents to think quickly. Despite these close calls, the team pressed on, knowing that failure could mean death for everyone involved. Once near the coast, the refugees were transferred to small dinghies. These boats, piloted by Israeli naval commandos, carried them to a waiting ship just beyond Sudanese territorial water. The INS Bat Galim, an Israeli Navy vessel, stood ready to take them to safety. The refugees, many of whom had never seen the sea before, were overwhelmed by the vastness of the water. But their fear turned to relief as they realized they were finally on their way to Israel. After each rescue mission, the Mossad agents returned to the resort before dawn, slipping back into their roles as resort staff. The equipment shed, which housed scuba gear by day, doubled as a communications hub by night. Here, the agents reported their progress to Mossad headquarters, coordinating the next steps in the operation. Through it all, the local staff and tourists remain oblivious. The Sudanese workers prepared fresh braided bread each week, calling it Shabbat bread, due to its resemblance to a local sandal. They had no idea of its connection to Jewish tradition, or that their European employers were Israeli agents. The agents knew that one misstep could unravel the entire operation. On one occasion, Sudanese soldiers raided the resort, searching for smugglers. Thanks to a timely tip-off from a local businessman, the Mossad team had just enough time to hide incriminating equipment. On another night, soldiers stumbled upon a dinghy loading operation. Thinking quickly, the agents claimed it was a night diving activity for adventurous tourists. The soldiers, embarrassed, backed off. This dual existence, luxury by day, life-saving missions by night, defined the Mossad's work at the resort. It was a delicate balance maintained with incredible precision, courage, and a touch of divine protection. The operation faced growing dangers. Sudanese authorities became suspicious, and the naval rescues were deemed too risky. A new plan emerged: airlifting refugees out of Sudan. In the dead of night, Hercules cargo planes landed on a deserted airstrip in the Sudanese desert. The Ethiopian Jews, many of whom had never seen an airplane, were terrified. Some thought the airplanes were monsters. Others described it as stepping into the belly of a whale. Despite their fear, they boarded, and the planes whisked them away to freedom. Over time, the Mossad successfully rescued thousands of Ethiopian Jews. But the mission came to an abrupt halt when an Israeli politician leaked its existence. The Mossad agents had to evacuate overnight, leaving the resort and its unsuspecting guests behind. The Mossad's operation at Arus on the Red Sea wasn't just a mission. It was a testament to human ingenuity, courage, and an unwavering commitment to saving lives. Over the course of just a few years, the small team of undercover agents working from this covert diving resort achieved what seemed impossible: the rescue of nearly 8,000 Ethiopian Jews from danger in Sudan. For the Beta Israel community, this mission was more than a rescue. It was the fulfillment of a dream that had been passed down for generations. For centuries, Ethiopian Jews had longed to return to the land of their forefathers, a place they called the land of Jerusalem. Despite persecution, isolation, and unimaginable hardship, their faith never wavered. The Mossad's mission brought that ancient yearning to life, reuniting them with their spiritual and ancestral homeland, Israel. But the story didn't end there. The operation at Arus was just the beginning. It became the precursor to larger-scale rescue operations such as Operation Moses in 1984 and the monumental Operation Solomon in 1991. During Operation Solomon, 34 El Al planes carried over 14,000 Ethiopian Jews to Israel in a single day, an unprecedented effort that broke the world record for the number of passengers on a single flight. Together, these missions saved tens of thousands of Ethiopian Jews, bringing them to safety and giving them a chance at a new life. Today, the legacy of these missions lives on. The Ethiopian Jewish community in Israel has grown to over 130,000 people. Despite the challenges of integrating into a modern, fast-paced society, Ethiopian Jews have made remarkable contributions in diverse fields. They serve in the military, excel in medicine, arts, sports, and politics, and are a proud and integral part of Israeli society. Their story is a powerful reminder of resilience, faith, and the strength of a people united by their shared identity and dreams. The Arus resort itself stands as a poignant symbol of this incredible legacy. What began as an abandoned collection of bungalows became the epicenter of one of Mossad's most daring missions. It proved that even in the unlikeliest of places, a remote beach in a hostile country, great miracles can unfold. The resort story also sheds light on the immense risks the Mossad agents faced. These were not faceless operatives, but individuals who put their lives on the line every day. From managing the resort's fragile cover story to navigating perilous roads and evading armed patrols, they exemplified heroism in the face of constant danger. For many of these agents, their identities remain classified even today, but their sacrifices and ingenuity are etched into history. The operation resonated far beyond Israel and Ethiopia. It showcased Israel's unique commitment to humanitarian values, even in the face of geopolitical risks. Few countries would invest millions of dollars and deploy such resources to save refugees from an enemy territory. The Mossad's work at Arus exemplifies the lengths Israel was willing to go to ensure that no Jewish community was left behind. Their mission also helped elevate the global understanding of the Beta Israel community, once a marginalized and little-known group. Their remarkable story of survival and courage captured the attention of the world. The rescue operations have since been chronicled in books, documentaries, and even Hollywood films such as the Netflix movie The Red Sea Diving Resort, ensuring that the legacy of these missions is passed on to future generations. The legacy of Arus and the Ethiopian Jewish rescues is ultimately a story of hope. It reminds us that no matter how dire the circumstances, a combination of determination, creativity, and faith can achieve the extraordinary. It's a story of a people who refuse to abandon their heritage, and of a nation that refused to leave them behind. In reflecting on this operation, we are left with an enduring question. What does it mean to truly take responsibility for one another? The Mossad agents and their Ethiopian allies answered this question with their actions, showing us the profound impact of courage, empathy, and unity. Even today, the story of Arus on the Red Sea continues to inspire. It's a tale of miracles hidden in plain sight, a reminder that when people work together towards a shared purpose, the impossible becomes possible. The story of bravery, deception, and miracles reminds us that the impossible is possible when we stand together. What do you think was the biggest miracle in this story? And what do you think about the Mossad's work in general? Let us know in the comments below. Don't forget to subscribe to our channel for more incredible stories. Share this video with your friends and click thanks to support our work. Together, we can keep these stories alive. See you in the next video.